podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Blueberry. This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
The Big G, Tokyo Town, StompDown.
Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the Big G Tokyo Town StompDown. I'm Kim Brown.
I'm TC Kirkham. Welcome.
Yep. Hi.
It's May 27th, 2018, as we get closer and closer to the end of 31 Days of Godzilla here on the Big G Tokyo Town StompDown.
Yes.
And the release of legendary films Godzilla, King of the Monsters, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Vera Farmiga, Kyle Chandler, and also
Ken Watanabe
and David Strathairn, among others.
Yep.
That is the whole point of doing this month's countdown. We are going through, traipsing through the history of Godzilla from the beginning to end, skipping a couple of things here and there.
Although we should say, since today is the 27th and it is Memorial Day, we should say Happy Memorial Day and thank you to the families of people who have family members who have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep our country free.
Very good. Okay. Now, we are up to the only direct sequel in the Millennium series, the 27th film overall, the 26th film from Toho. It is Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. It was released as in Japan as Godzilla times Mothra times Mechagodzilla Tokyo S.O.S. It is a direct sequel to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which has happened the previous year.
Yes.
It is from 2003 and is part of the Millennium series and is probably just as messed up as every other Millennium era film.
You're not wrong. And before you ask, no, the lead song in this film was not sung by ABBA. There, I beat you to it. I figured.
What?
I figured the SOS part
no,
you would make an ABBA joke, so I figured I'd just head that off at the pass.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't even think of it.
And you call yourself a music buff.
What about the SOS band?
The what?
The SOS band. Hey, come and do it. Take your time. Do it right. It's a band called the SOS Band. In 1980, they had a couple of big hits.
Oh,
anyway.
I remember that song. Yeah, from when I was 12.
Anyway.
From when I was just a doe-eyed girl.
You were never a doe-eyed girl.
Oh, that's... What? I take that... I'm offended. I was extremely good at the Bambi Eyes. I'm still very good at the Bambi Eyes.
Not with me.
Well, not with you.
Because I see through every little crack in your brain.
Well, so not with you, because you know me. You know what goes on behind those eyes, Bambi eyes or not. I don't try it with you. Anyway, so the plot of this film goes thusly.
Such as it is.
Stop that! These have a plot.
Yeah, they do.
Out there, but it's a plot. I mean, we're not talking about The Room or something like that. So it is 2004.
Oh, Godzilla's not going to come down with a sudden case of breast cancer either. So anyway.
Oh my fraud.
You brought it up.
Out of all of the terrible stuff you could take out of The Room, that's the line you decide to run with. Okay.
That's the one everybody remembers.
Yeah. I know. If you've never seen The Room, count yourself lucky. So, the year is 2004, and Mechagodzilla, who was also known as Kiryu, because reasons, the cyborg that was created from the original Godzilla's skeleton, which was possessed by the original Godzilla spirit, don't ask, is being repaired
Again.
and going through these modifications because of the battle that he had with Godzilla the year before, which tore off one of his arms and wrecked the big super shiny weapon that it had on its chest, the Absolute Zero cannon. The Prime Minister of Japan at this time, Prime Minister Igarashi, accepts the proposition from the lead scientist on the project dealing with Kiryu, a scientist named Chujo. And Chujo's idea is to take the Absolute Zero cannon off and put on something called a tri-maser.
Even though regular maser didn't work.
I guess not, but this is a tri-maser, so that's better. That's 3 times better. And
it's three masers.
I'm sorry, but if the maser cannon didn't work, and so it's a tri-maser, so that's 3 times better something that didn't work the first time? What? I'm sorry, what was that song? Nothing times nothing leaves nothing. So anyway, so basically, this is Pimp My Kiryu, and they've, put on these new things to make it better, in case Godzilla shows up again. Since this is a Godzilla movie, you're pretty sure Godzilla's going to show up again.
At some point.
Unless it's Shin Godzilla. Then you have a wait coming.
We'll talk about that later this week. Anyway.
Bet your ass we will. This is actually the Shobijin appear in this film. The Shobijin, who are the representatives? I don't know how else to word this. The representatives, the advocates, the emissaries, the mouthpieces, however you want to say, for the giant moth goddess Mothra. That could have been worded better. And the Shobijin come to Japan, and they warn the government that Godzilla's still out there, number 1. And number 2, the reason that Godzilla keeps coming back to Japan and causing all kinds of problems is because of their brilliant decision to use the original Godzilla's skeleton to be the main structure part of Kiryu, because they used Godzilla's skeleton and built Kiryu around him. And that's why Godzilla keeps showing up and wrecking the place. So the Shobijin tell the government that if they take the bones out of Kiryu and, put them back in the ocean where they belong, that Mothra will take Kiryu's place and defend Japan whenever Godzilla decides to show up and cause problems. And if they don't do that, Mothra's going to take that as a declaration of war. Okay, that escalated quickly. A turtle winds up showing up offshore on a Japanese beach, a giant kind of turtle called a mata-mata, which is an actual real type of turtle. The thing is, the reason this is important is because A, it's a dead turtle and that's sad, but B, because the turtle's neck has these enormous wounds on it, and it's determined that the wounds were caused by Godzilla, so we know that Godzilla isn't dead from his last fight with Kiryu, which he might have been because he just went back into the water with a big hole in his chest, so, he might have gone off and died, but apparently he has not. Mm-hmm. And apparently he's decided, well, I'm rested, time to get back to what I was doing. Godzilla gets up out of the water, shows up in Japan, starts stomping the place into powder, because that's what he does, and Godzilla and Mothra wind up having this big fight. But Godzilla's winning. It's not an even fight by any stretch of the imagination. Godzilla is kicking Mothra's butt. The repairs are finished on Kiryu in the nick of time, and she meaning Mothra, and she and Kiryu team up to fight Godzilla, but it still doesn't work, and Godzilla manages to kick both their butts. Mothra's butt and Kiryu's metal shiny butt. While all of this is going on Infant Island, which is Mothra's home, Mothra has laid another one of her eggs, and the egg hatches, and these 2 baby Mothras come out. But they're not baby Mothras in, oh, look, they're cute little moths. No, they're giant larvae, because that's how moths start out.
Right.
It's very circle of life. And, you know, the egg hatches, they come out, they're like, oh, mom's not here. Oh, crap, we need to go find mom. And they apparently just can hone in on where their mother is, because they show up, and they're all like, Mom, you're here. Oh, Mom, oh, crap. And so the Kiryu has to be taken by the humans to be repaired again, because, again, see, Godzilla kicked its shiny butt. And it's up to the larva to try and save, you know, civilization, and also save their mom, even though they were just born, because life's tough sometimes. And they have to try and fight against Godzilla, even though they're babies. Jim Henson's kaiju babies. Mothra winds up giving up her life, and it's very sad, to save her children, because Godzilla goes to blast the larvae with his atomic breath, and she throws herself in front of them to keep them from being killed and save them, and that winds up killing Mothra. And like I said, R.E., it's very sad. It is very sad.
I'm not saying it's
well,
not.
You're laughing.
I'm laughing at your description. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So the humans repair Kiryu again. The warranty on this thing must be like 90 pages long, and they send Kiryu into battle against Godzilla again, and he stabs Godzilla in the chest with one of his weapons, which is a drill, which actually drills into Godzilla's skin. It's strong enough and powerful enough of a drill that it can pierce Godzilla's hide. Godzilla actually bleeds. And we all remember that line from Predator, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And Godzilla's all like, ow, that hurt! And I'm actually bleeding! Now I'm really mega pissed off now. The larvae use the pretty much only weapon they have other than their mouths, because they have like kind of pincer mouths they can bite with. But they're using their silk that they spit out of their mouths. That's not where that usually comes from. I'd like to bring that up. But, so they're trying to wrap Godzilla up in their silk, which must be crazy, stupid, strong, because they're giant bugs. I don't even want to think about what's involved in the constitution of that stuff. The problem is that for this time, Kiryu winds up using its powers again against Godzilla, because when Godzilla roars, somehow that makes Kiryu power up, and it reawakens Kiryu's soul again. But this time, instead of being all like, I'm going to wreck stuff just like Godzilla, I'm still going to fight Godzilla. So Kiryu winds up grabbing Godzilla and tying it up with cable. And it fires off its booster rockets and takes itself and Godzilla out over the water and throws itself and Godzilla to the bottom of the ocean. But that's not the end of the movie. Oh, no.
Well, yeah, it is. But...
Well, it is the end of the movie, but it's not the end of the movie, because apparently Japan was doing the post-credit scene stuff long before Marvel went, hey, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
We see a lab somewhere. We're not shown where it is. And the lab has all these canisters in it. And the canisters are all labeled as having the DNA in it of all these different monsters. And it's, as it turns, in the Japanese cut of this film, there's a narrator saying that there is an experiment going on that involves an extinct subject, which is kind of implying that the Defense Force is trying to create some other...
The Defense Force is doing its own Jurassic Park.
Pretty much.
Or actually, in this case, Jurassic World.
Yeah, pretty much. That they're going to try and use the monster's DNA to create weapons to fight the monsters if they come back. And also in the Japanese version, we see Kiryu and Godzilla at the bottom of the ocean, falling to the bottom of the ocean, both roaring in rage as they sink.
When did this seem like a good idea?
What, the movie in general or the post-credit?
No, the post-credit.
I don't know.
The movie got fairly decent reviews when it came out in December of 2004, and 2003, excuse me. And it's like we said earlier, it is a direct sequel to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla from the previous year. Mm-hmm. But does it make any more sense?
Well, I was happy they brought the Shobijin back, and because I like the Shobijin. I know some people find them annoying, but I don't. I think they're cool. And I
don't think you can have Mothra without having the Shobijin. It doesn't make any sense to have Mothra without it. So
no, it doesn't, because Mothra can't speak human, and she needs someone to translate for her.
Yep.
And like I said, I like the Shobijin. I think they're cool. And I like this film simply because I like Mothra. Mothra's, besides Godzilla, I would actually say Mothra is my favorite kaiju, simply because I think she's cool. And she's a lady monster.
And she's the only good guy among them,
and
right?
she's pretty much the only benevolent monster, yeah.
She's willing to come to humans' defense if needed be.
Yeah, except for this movie. Well, in this movie, she's all like, well, yeah, I'll help out, but if you don't do what I'm telling you to do...
I'm going to have to tear you apart.
Yeah, so if you don't do what I tell you to do, you're going to get a spanking, as in I'm going to kick your butt, I find it really, it is one of these films that actually has continuity, which in the Millennium series is nice, because it's rare.
The only film, along with the previous one, that has continuity.
So far, yeah, it is. You're not wrong. I also think that the whole thing of Mothra sacrificing herself to save her children, I think
we've seen that before.
We've seen it before, yes. But I always think it's a very beautiful statement. I think it's a very powerful statement.
It is.
And don't get mad at me for this, and please don't wing something at my head. But I also think it's a very feminine statement.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not saying a man wouldn't give up his life to try and save his children. I totally understand that a man would sacrifice himself to save his children. I get that. But there's something more visceral when a woman does it, or a female, in Mothra's case, because she's not a woman. She's a female giant moth. But there's just something about it that is, I don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's because I'm also a female, that I find it very heart-tugging, because you gave these beings life, mm-hmm. and you're giving up your life so they can continue to live. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really incredible statement. And I think it's very powerful.
It is.
And of course, this film has Godzilla in it, which is always a great thing as far as I'm concerned. It obviously is another film where Godzilla is completely an antagonist and not even an anti-hero or anything else. So I'm a little irritated with that. But again, I tend to view Godzilla more as a force of nature than an actual evil character myself.
Right.
I'm not usually right about that. Some films he is definitely the enemy, but...
Right.
I don't know. This one isn't that bad, I don't think.
It got good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
On tomorrow's show, it is the 28th and final member of the Millennium series, and would be the final Godzilla movie made by Toho for 12 years. Mm-hmm. It is one of the coolest films in the entire Godzilla library. The first one I ever saw at the theater. I think it was the first one you ever saw at the theater.
Yes, it is.
And we saw it with...
No, I tell a lie. That's wrong. I saw Godzilla 85 at the theater.
Okay. We saw it with a jam-packed, nearly sold-out crowd at the Brattle Theater. It was our first ever visit
mm-hmm.
there.
Yep.
And it was a blast. Tomorrow, Godzilla Final Wars as part of the Big G Tokyo Town StompDown.
Yep.
We hope you continue to listen. We hope you like what we're doing. These miniseries are hard work, and we really appreciate you listening to them, because we're here making them for you so you can enjoy the Godzilla series and library of films the same way we have over the years, although Kim's seen a lot more than I have. And, of course, we are working up to this Friday. Now, don't forget, Friday we will be doing 2 shows. We will have our overview idea of what we expect out of the new film. And then Friday night, as soon as we get home, we will record our impressions of the new film and post them as our final episode of the 31 Days of Godzilla, Tokyo Town, StompDown, Big G, coming from eCinemaOne, Subject Cinema, and Kim's patron-only show, Kaiju Corner.
Yep.
We hope you'll join us there. We hope you'll spread the word. Don't forget to tweet us when you see our tweets go out from Platinum Rose L or eCinemaOne, eCinemaBoston. Please retweet them to all your people and get the word out there. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. And until then, I'm TC Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Big G Tokyo Town StompDown from Subject Cinema, Kaiju Corner at eCinemaOne.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.